Welcome to this episode of the Conscious Business Coffee Break, where we take a few moments to explore what's happening in the conscious business movement, expand awareness, and encourage your efforts in conscious business. Greetings, everyone. I'm Stephen Donaco of the Conscious Business Enterprise, a division of Humanities team. And on today's program, we're going to talk about the conscience of big brands. And the article that I'll put the link into the comments is called Woke Business. Have big brands found a conscience or a marketing ploy? And this comes from The Guardian. And I'll link to this after I broadcast the video, so you can take a look at the article in more detail. But essentially, the article mentions an announcement by Levi's, the jeans company, last week of a partnership with an organization called Every Town for Gun Safety and other gun violence prevention groups. And in that announcement, Levi's CEO Chip Bergh said, quote, "While taking a stand can be unpopular with some, doing nothing is no longer an option. Business has a critical role to play and a moral obligation to do something," unquote. So, as you might expect, the National Rifle Association in the US scoffed at that announcement, calling Levi's move, quote, "a particularly sad episode in the current surge in corporate virtue signaling," unquote. And then the article itself further questions, is this new brand bravery for real? And if so, what's driving it? Now, if we look at this through the perspective of conscious business, it's no surprise that old paradigm institutions like the National Rifle Association or other old paradigm businesses and media outlets would question or even condemn this kind of practice. And of course, we know that communication by any brand, by any business, has as its key objective to sell a product. So whenever we see a communication come out in the form of a press release or an ad or an announcement, ultimately behind that is a effort by that business to increase its awareness and therefore ultimately to sell its products and services. Now, in conscious business, we believe business is personal because it's people, after all, that lead, operate, and patronize businesses. So it would follow then that ultimately business will address and will align with the concerns of and values of people. Business is personal. And the people who are in the hot consumer demographic right now are of the younger generation, as they always have been in business. So if you look at the hot demographic for advertising, it's that 18 to mid 30s demographic that advertisers are always targeting. And that has not changed so much in the current realm of business. Now, a guy named Patrick Reish, who's the director of the sports business program at Washington University in St. Louis, said, quote, "The messages that these companies are getting from their market research with millennials and Generation Z consumers is these people want their brands to be authentic. They want them to be culturally relevant. Younger folks want brands to stand for something." He says in the voice of the consumer, quote, "I don't want to just see your logo. You're just trying to sell me some shoes or shirts. I want you to stand for something." And then he finishes by saying, when you take that leap of faith as a company, you are running risks. And among those risks are, of course, alienating people who don't agree with the stand you're taking or the values behind the stand. Now, conscious companies understand the risks are worth the rewards, and not just the financial rewards. The risks are worth the rewards. The stands they take, the virtuous ones especially, are generative. And in taking a stand that is generative, that is affirming life in their community and in the world, and by doing so, they're supporting the evolution and the flourishing of humanity. So you can read the article for a more detail and perspective behind all of this. But in the meantime, let me link this to a couple of principles in the Conscious Business Declaration. First of all, it's Principle 5, that business must behave as a positive and proactive member of the local and global communities in which it operates. And Principle 6, business that sees, honors, and celebrates the essential interconnected nature of all human beings and all life, maximizes human potential, and helps create a world that works for all. So with that, grateful for everyone who tuned in to the coffee break this morning. Glad to have you here, and thank you always for your support. And then in the meantime, we will see you on Friday, 9 a.m. U.S. Central Time for another edition of the Conscious Business Coffee Break. Have a good day, everyone.